Longtime car enthusiasts all know the old joke about BMW owners and their mechanics being on a first-name basis. The prevailing wisdom for decades suggested that these German machines offered an incredible driving experience for exactly 3 years before they slowly disintegrated into a pile of oil leaks and electrical headaches. That reputation is outdated because something fundamental shifted in Munich over the last 6 or 7 years. They stopped engineering fragile performance cars and began manufacturing bulletproof tanks that just happened to be fast. Some of the most dependable vehicles on the road right now wear a BMW badge, but you have to know exactly which model years to target. You might still walk into a money pit if you choose the wrong one, but picking the right model gets you a machine capable of hitting 200,000 miles with just tires and oil changes. We are cutting through the noise today to look beyond spec sheets and focus on long-term ownership data for the definitive list of the 10 most reliable BMWs you can put in your driveway in 2026. We start at number 10 by looking back to a time when cars were mechanical and simple, specifically the facelifted BMW E46 330i models produced from 2003 to 2006. While a 20-year-old BMW might seem like a risky bet, this car sits at the perfect intersection of modern safety standards and old-school durability. Power comes from the naturally aspirated M54 3.0-liter inline-six engine, which many consider one of the greatest power plants BMW ever built. There are no turbos to blow up and no high-pressure fuel pumps to fail because it is just metal moving in harmony. Reliability means something different with older cars, since you won't face software glitches, but you do need to watch out for the cooling system. Water pumps and expansion tanks are effectively consumable items on these vehicles, so you should plan to spend an extra $500 refreshing the cooling system immediately after buying one in that $8,000 to $15,000 range. Doing that makes the M54 engine virtually unkillable, and while it will consume a little oil like all of them do, it will never leave you stranded. This remains the only place to start for the enthusiast who wants to feel the road through the steering wheel without taking on a monthly car payment. Number 9 jumps us to the modern era with a vehicle that owes its dependability to the G29 generation, BMW Z4, from 2019 to 2023. This car is fascinating because it was developed alongside the Toyota Supra, and Toyota demands a level of stress testing that most German manufacturers usually skip when they put their name on a project. The result is a roadster built like a bank vault with 2 engine choices that are both winners. You can choose the S-Drive 30i with the B48 2.0-liter 4-cylinder or the M40i with the legendary B58 3.0-liter inline-six, and both share a closed-deck block design that is extremely strong. These engines handle heat cycles incredibly well, which prevents the degradation of plastic components that often kills modern cars. Current market prices sit between $35,000, and for that money, you get a sports car with a simple drivetrain and a convertible top mechanism that just works. This is the weekend car you can actually rely on to get you to work on Monday without punishing you for owning it. Our number 8 spot holds the answer for those who prefer to be driven, and that answer is the BMW 740i. The 7 Series historically depreciates like a stone due to maintenance fears. But the G11 and G12 generation changed that narrative provided you stick to the 740i with that same B58 inline-six engine. Most buyers make the mistake of choosing the 750i with the big V8 engine, which becomes a maintenance nightmare, while the 740i remains understressed and reliable. The 6-cylinder engine has absolutely no trouble moving this car, and the plastic hoses under the hood last twice as long because it generates far less heat than the V8. You can find clean examples for $50,000, though you must watch out for the air suspension on such a heavy car. Air struts eventually leak around the 80,000-mile mark, but that is a known and fixable expense compared to catastrophic engine failures. The 740i is the smart money choice if you want a limousine experience without the limousine repair bills. Number 7 is arguably the most versatile vehicle on this list, and we are specifically looking at the 2020 to 2023 models of the BMW X5 xDrive 40i. The X5 invented the sporty SUV segment, but used to be fragile, yet this generation built on the Claire platform feels carved out of a single block of granite. The B58 3.0-liter inline-six engine, paired with the ZF 8-speed transmission, is the hero here, and this powertrain combination is currently the gold standard in the automotive industry. It is smooth enough to return surprising fuel economy while still having enough torque to tow a boat, and the transfer cases on the xDrive system have been significantly beefed up. You can find these for $45,000, but you should check the maintenance records for oil leaks when shopping. The oil filter housing gasket is a labor-intensive job to fix if it goes, but other than that rare issue, this is a safe and genuinely reliable family hauler. We find the X5's little brother at number 6, with the BMW X3 xDrive 30i, covering model years 2018 to 2023. This is actually the smarter buy if you don't need massive towing capacity, because it is lighter, which puts less stress on the suspension and brakes to make your consumables last longer. The B48 2.0-liter turbo 4-cylinder under the hood produces plenty of torque down low where you need it, and trust me when I say it is enough for an SUV. Parts availability is fantastic because the X3 is so popular, meaning any independent mechanic can work on this car with their eyes closed. Owners occasionally complain about active grille shutters getting stuck or minor coolant level sensor glitches, but these are annoyances rather than catastrophic failures. You can pick these up between $30,000 for a set-it-and-forget-it option for your daily commute. Breaking into the top 5 brings us a controversial pick backed up by data, which is the 2020 to 2023 BMW 228i Grand Coupe. Enthusiasts often look down on this car because it shares its front-wheel drive DNA with Mini. But the UKL platform it sits on was refined over millions of miles in Mini Coopers before it ever touched a BMW. It uses a compact and efficient transverse-mounted version of the B48 engine. And being an entry-level car means it lacks the ultra-complex luxury gadgets that tend to break on higher-end models. You won't have massaging seats to fail or complex air suspension to leak, so it remains just a solid and well-built car. Prices range from $22,000, making this the perfect choice if you are looking for a first BMW for a younger driver. It gives you the badge and build quality without the complexity, and it works perfectly as a city runabout that is easy to park and cheap to run. Number 4 represents the sweet spot of the lineup, with the G30 generation BMW 530i from 2017 to 2022. Many experts believe this is the peak of modern BMW sedan design because it is built better than the old ones, without being as controversial as the new ones. The high-output version of the B48 4-cylinder engine is tuned perfectly for highway cruising, and it is whisper quiet even if you think you might need a 6-cylinder. The incredibly rigid chassis prevents the squeaks and rattles that used to plague older BMW interiors. So you are getting business-class luxury for $28,000. Reliability is excellent, apart from the flex disc on the drive shaft, which can wear out and cause vibration, but that is a standard maintenance item. The maintenance costs on a 530i are peanuts compared to the V8 models, offering you executive luxury for a middle management budget. We have a special entry at number 3, primarily for our European friends, specifically the BMW 128 Ti and M135i xDrive. These hatchbacks were BMW's answer to the Volkswagen Golf GTI, and the reliability principle applies globally, even if the cars are regional. They use a tuned version of the B48 engine, pushing out between 261 and 302 horsepower, and the engine handles it easily because it has reinforced internals compared to the base models. The front-wheel drive 128 Ti offers simplicity added to performance since there is no rear differential or transfer case to worry about maintaining. A quick dealer update fixes the minor infotainment software glitches found in earlier models, and you are buying a premium hot hatch. This engine is over-engineered for the application, making it a far more premium option than a Ford Focus or a VW Golf. We are down to the heavy hitters now, and number 2 is the G20 generation BMW 330i from 2019 to 2023. This is the car that defines the segment because the G23 series went back to the basics of being stiff, light, and focused on handling. The updated B48 engine pushes 255 horsepower and is rock solid now that BMW fixed the timing chain guide issues that plagued the older N20 engines from the early 2010s. We just don't see those failures on the G20, and the heavy-duty suspension components are matched by solid electronics and a practically indestructible ZF 8-speed transmission. You can find these versatile and genuinely fun cars for $25,000. A low-mileage 330i is almost impossible to beat if you want one car to do everything for the next 10 years. One car stands above the rest as the absolute king of reliability and performance. And our number one pick for 2026 is the BMW M340i from model years 2020 to 2023. I want you to mark my words that this car is a future classic because it sits in that perfect middle ground between the regular 3 Series and the full-blown M3. The secret is that it might actually be more reliable than both of them, thanks to the B58 3.0-liter inline-six pumping out 382 horsepower in its most potent form. This engine is a masterpiece of engineering that uses a water-to-air intercooler for consistent power and internal components, strong enough to handle way more force than stock. The engine is barely breaking a sweat in its factory form, and owners are putting huge miles on these cars with 0 issues. You get a car that does 0-60 in under 4 seconds while idling smoothly in traffic, and it asks for nothing but premium gas and regular oil changes. You can find them between $30,000, and while you should check for that oil filter housing gasket, it is a small price to pay for arguably the best all-around sports sedan ever made. Buy the M340i if you can afford it, and keep it because it will not let you down. I want to give you 3 golden rules for keeping these modern BMWs on the road. Before we wrap up, you need to cut the factory oil change interval in half to do it every 5,000 miles, because oil is cheap while engines are expensive. These turbocharged engines are sensitive to bad gas, so use high-quality fuel, and always let the car warm up before you hammer the throttle. Do those 3 things, and these cars will last you a lifetime. That is our list, from the budget-friendly E46 to the powerhouse M340i, proving BMW has finally cracked the code on reliability. I want to hear if you are currently driving one of these B48 or B58 powered cars and what your experience has been like with high mileage. Let me know in the comments below because I read every single one, and please hit that like button if you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.